Hey beautiful, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. Whether you're cozied up with a glass of wine, watching this in your car before date night, or just soaking up all the juicy love wisdom, you're in the right place. Because today's topic, it's a game changer. We're talking about something that most people totally underestimate when it comes to intimacy. Words. I know when you think about being sexy in bed, your mind probably goes straight to what you're doing with your hands, your lips, your body. And yes, those things are powerful. But what if I told you that there are things you can say that will hit a man even harder? Words that will make him feel more connected, more turned on, more obsessed with you. See, here's the secret. Men don't just want to feel good in bed. They want to feel wanted, powerful, capable, and emotionally connected. And the words you say in those intimate moments have the power to go way deeper than touch alone ever could. Because when a man is in bed with a woman who knows how to use her voice, not just to talk dirty, but to connect, affirm, tease, and pull him into the moment, he's not just physically satisfied, he's mentally and emotionally consumed by her. And that is when sex becomes unforgettable. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 sexy things men love to hear in bed. And we're not talking cliches or anything cringeworthy. These are words that feel real, that deepen the intimacy, that make him feel like he's not just performing, he's connecting. And when you use these phrases at the right time in the right way, he won't just want you. He'll feel like he can't get enough of you. So grab a pen or just sit back and let these sink in, because by the end of this video, you're going to be armed with a toolkit of words that will make him feel turned on, deeply seen, and emotionally addicted. Let's dive in. There is something incredibly powerful about a woman who knows how to speak up for her pleasure, and not in a demanding way, but in a way that makes a man feel like a hero. When you say, "I love the way you touch me," you're doing something far more impactful than just giving a compliment. You're giving him a gift. You're affirming him, boosting his confidence, and letting him know that what he's doing isn't just good, it's deeply affecting you. And men crave that kind of feedback. Let's be honest, men often feel pressure in bed. There's this quiet, sometimes unspoken expectation that they're supposed to know what to do, how to do it, and when to do it, all without being told. And while some men have experience, most of them are guessing. They're watching your body language, listening to your breath, reading your expressions. But what they rarely get is actual verbal confirmation that they're doing it right. So when you break that silence and say, "I love the way you touch me," it's like handing him a roadmap, one that says, "This, right here, this is everything I want." It takes the guesswork out and replaces it with reassurance. It creates this beautiful emotional feedback loop. He does something, you love it, you express it, now he wants to do it even better. He wants to keep giving you that feeling over and over again. And here's the deeper truth. When you express appreciation in the moment, you're doing something that most people never think to do. You're connecting through positive reinforcement. Instead of critiquing or correcting, you're encouraging. You're feeding his desire to please you. That line, "I love the way you touch me," doesn't just stroke his ego. It makes him feel chosen. It says, "Of all the ways I could be touched, yours is the one I crave." And don't underestimate the effect that has. Because men, just like women, want to feel like they have a unique effect on someone. They want to feel like they are the one who knows how to make you feel something no one else can. That line, spoken in the right tone, with your eyes meeting his, maybe your hand resting gently on his chest, becomes this lightning bolt of connection. He's not just in bed with a beautiful woman. He's in bed with someone who sees him, someone who isn't afraid to express desire, someone who knows how to communicate sensuality through her words. And here's the real kicker. When you say that, you're also making yourself more attractive. Confidence is magnetic. Emotional presence is irresistible. A woman who can name her pleasure, who can show up in that moment and own it without shame, is unforgettable. You're not just making him feel good, you're showing that you feel good, and that confidence becomes a kind of fuel for the entire experience. This one simple sentence has the power to make the moment more than physical. It becomes emotional. It becomes affirming. It becomes something that makes him want to slow down, to stay connected, to keep exploring. You turn what could be just another intimate moment into something undeniably personal. The best part? It's so easy to say. You don't have to rehearse it. You don't need a script. You just need presence, honesty, and the willingness to express the pleasure you're already feeling. Because when a man hears that, it sticks with him. It becomes a loop in his mind that plays long after the lights are off. And the next time he's with you, he's not just touching your body, he's touching your experience. And that's what creates obsession. So say it. I mean it. Because those 7 words, they can change everything. You make me feel so sexy. There's a reason this phrase hits a man on a level that goes far beyond physical. When a woman says this, she's doing something incredibly powerful. She's not just complimenting him. She's expressing how he makes her feel in her own skin. And that is magnetic. You see, we often talk about what men want from women in bed. But what a lot of people miss is this. Men want to know what they do to you. They want to see the effect they have. It's not about ego in a shallow sense. It's about emotional impact. It's about knowing they're not just going through the motions, but actually awakening something in you. And when you say, you make me feel so sexy, what you're really telling him is, when I'm with you, I feel like the most desired woman in the world. Think about how different that is from saying, you're so sexy. That's a nice compliment, but it doesn't say anything about how you feel. But when you flip the script and say, you make me feel sexy, you're drawing him into your world. You're letting him know that his presence, his energy, his attention, it's changing how you see yourself in that moment. That kind of feedback does something incredible to a man. It makes him feel powerful, not because he's dominating, but because he's contributing to your confidence. He's heightening your self-worth, your sensuality, your sense of ownership over your body. And that's intoxicating. That's what makes a man look at you and think, I can't get enough of this woman. Just go deeper. Most men carry quiet insecurities into the bedroom. They worry. Am I enough? Is she really into this? Can I give her what she wants? And they'll rarely say it out loud. But when you hit them with something as direct, as honest, as sexy, as you make me feel so sexy, all those insecurities dissolve. You're letting him know, not only is he doing a good job, but he's doing something special. He's bringing out a version of you that you love. And that makes him want to double down. It makes him want to keep being the guy that brings that out in you. It also does something beautiful for you, because the moment you say those words, you're reinforcing your own sense of sexual confidence. You're affirming that you feel good in your body. You're celebrating that you feel wanted, seen, touched, and you're not hiding it. That kind of vulnerability, that kind of bold, feminine expression, that's irresistible. And it works in all kinds of moments. You could whisper it when he's undressing you slowly. You could moan it softly while he kisses your neck. You could breathe it out afterward. While tangled in the sheets, your skin still warm from what just happened. Each time it lands differently, but it always lands deep. Men want to feel like they're not just taking part in sex. They want to feel like they're unlocking a part of you that no one else gets to see. When you say, you make me feel sexy, you're confirming that. You're saying, I don't just feel good, I feel alive, desired, empowered. And you're giving him the credit. That's why this one little sentence carries so much weight. It's not a pickup line, it's a connection line. It builds a bridge between physical chemistry and emotional intimacy, and that's where the real fire starts. So the next time you feel that heat rise up inside you, let it out, look him in the eyes, smile, and say it. Because when a man knows he makes you feel sexy, he'll never stop chasing that feeling. I've been thinking about this all day. There's a certain electricity that runs through a man's body when you say these words. It's not just a sexy statement. It's a psychological trigger. You're letting him know that what's happening in this moment isn't random. It isn't routine. It's something you've been craving, fantasizing about, anticipating. And for a man, that anticipation, that build-up, it's everything. When a woman says, I've been thinking about this all day, it tells him that he lives in your mind when he's not even in the room. That his touch, his energy, his presence, it lingers, it stays with you. And what you're really saying is, you turn me on even from miles away. That kind of emotional validation, that kind of mental and physical craving is what makes a man feel like he's not just wanted, he's irresistible. Let's go deeper into the psychology of it. Men are wired to respond to desire. They want to feel like they ignite something in you, not just that you're enjoying the moment physically, but that you've been waiting for this, that you've imagined it, that every brush of his fingers, every kiss, every moment between you was something you didn't just enjoy, you anticipated. And when you say this, you're painting a mental picture. You're inviting him into the fantasy world you've been living in. You're saying, you've been on my mind. I wanted this. I needed this. And that's not just arousing, it's flattering. It makes him feel like he's not just lucky to be with you in this moment. He's special enough to have occupied your thoughts all day. Think about how different that feels from going through the motions. So many people treat intimacy like something that just happens. But when you let him know it's been brewing in you, that you've been counting down the hours, maybe replaying a memory, maybe fantasizing about what you do together, then suddenly the moment you're in now becomes supercharged. It becomes electric. It's not just sex. It's the culmination of an emotional and sensual buildup. And there's a hidden gift here too. When you share that you've been thinking about this all day, you're not just enhancing the moment, you're elevating yourself because you're showing vulnerability. You're showing that you're not afraid to express desire, to admit you crave closeness, to own your fantasies. That's not just sexy. It's liberating. You become a woman who owns her sensuality, her imagination, and her ability to want. And here's something men rarely get, this kind of mental intimacy. They're used to physical cues. They're used to being touched, kissed, pulled in. But when a woman opens up her inner world and says, I've been thinking about this, she's taking him into a space that feels sacred. She's making him part of her inner desire. And that's what makes a man feel not just turned on, but chosen. The way you say it matters too. Say it with your lips just brushing his ear. Say it with a smile that hints at everything you've imagined. Say it with a softness that slows down time, because when a man hears that he's been the center of your thoughts, he'll never forget it. This phrase is about more than teasing. It's about making him feel like he matters, like he's not just here for a moment of pleasure, but that he's been part of your emotional and physical world all day long. That kind of impact, that's what makes him crave you again and again. So use this phrase, let it drip with meaning, because when he knows he's been living rent-free in your mind, he's going to want to make the reality even better than the fantasy. These three words, when said with sincerity and the right amount of intensity, hold an emotional weight that can make a man's heart race. There's an undeniable power in vulnerability. And when you tell a man, I need you, you're not only communicating physical desire, you're sharing an emotional truth. You're letting him know that his presence, his energy, his touch is not just something you want, it's something you crave, something that adds depth through your life, something that makes you feel whole in that moment. The beauty of I need you is that it's not about desperation, it's about connection. It's about saying, you're not just here because of the physical pleasure, we're creating something more. You mean something to me. Your presence means something to me. And that's incredibly powerful. It's the ultimate form of emotional intimacy. Men are often conditioned to hide their emotions, to suppress their vulnerability. They may act tough, stoic, or self-sufficient, but the truth is they long to feel needed. They want to be wanted, not just for what they can do, but for who they are. When you tell him, I need you, it doesn't just stroke his ego, it acknowledges the depth of his role in your life, and that's a rare, beautiful thing. Think about how that shifts the dynamic in the moment. When you say, I need you, you're inviting him to be the hero, to be the one who's capable of satisfying not just your body, but your heart and your soul. Men often get a sense of pride from being able to provide for their partner's emotional and physical needs. By saying, I need you, you're giving him permission to be that person for you. You're saying, I trust you enough to share my vulnerability with you, and in doing so, I want to experience more of you. This phrase is intimate because it breaks down barriers. It takes the physical intimacy you're sharing to a deeper level. It shows that the connection is more than surface, deep. It's not just about what's happening in the moment. It's about a shared experience, a partnership, and a unique bond that's built not only on attraction, but on mutual respect and understanding. That beyond the emotional side, let's talk about the physical response this phrase triggers in a man. When you say, I need you, it creates an urgency, it creates a feeling of importance. He becomes the focal point of your desires. And that's incredibly magnetic. There's something about being needed that unlocks a man's protective instincts, his desire to nurture, and his need to make you feel satisfied and taken care of. And let's be real, when you say, I need you, it's not just about words, it's about how you say them. The breathy quality in your voice, the way you look at him, the way your body moves toward him. It all conveys that this isn't just a statement, it's an invitation. It's an invitation to connect on a level that goes beyond the physical. It's an invitation for him to become your center of gravity, to become the person you can't help but gravitate toward. Saying, I need you, also speaks to his desire to feel like he's part of something bigger than just a moment. It's about creating a narrative, a story of connection and intimacy that isn't confined to the bedroom. Men don't just want to be good in bed. They want to feel like they matter to you, like they're integral to your life. When you share that need with him, you make him feel essential in ways that are much deeper than the surface level pleasure. Now, I want you to understand this because it's critical. When you say, I need you, you're not giving away power. You're claiming it. You're owning your desires, your emotions, your body. This is a phrase that elevates your confidence because you're not afraid to admit that you want and need the connection within. You're being authentic. You're being real. And that vulnerability, that openness, it's incredibly sexy. So when the time is right, don't hold back. Let those words slip out softly, steadily, or even urgently, depending on the moment. Let him know how much he means to you in that intimate, shared space. Because when you say, I need you, you're not just making the moment more passionate. You're deepening the emotional connection in a way that will stick with him long after the night ends. And trust me, a man will never forget the woman who made him feel that wanted. I don't want this to stop. These words have the incredible power to transform a moment from pleasure to passion. They hold an undeniable truth. You're not just enjoying what's happening, you want more. And not just in a physical sense. These words speak to an emotional craving, a deeper connection that goes beyond the physical sensations. When you say, I don't want this to stop, it's an acknowledgement of how perfect the moment is. It's a way of telling him that what's happening between you is so intense, so electric, that you wish it could go on forever. In the heat of the moment, it's common for both partners to experience a rush of desire, a moment where time seems to slow down. But when you voice this desire, when you say, I don't want this to stop, you're telling him exactly how much you're feeling the connection. It's a compliment, but more than that, it's an invitation to deepen the moment. You're showing him that you're not just with him in the physical sense, but that you're mentally and emotionally present, craving more of the connection you're sharing. For a man, hearing this is like a burst of validation. It's a clear sign that he's doing something right, that every touch, every movement, every kiss has an effect on you. Men often seek validation and want to feel like their efforts are appreciated. And by expressing this sentiment, you're not only acknowledging his skill, but inviting him to continue, to take the experience to another level. It's a simple phrase, but it carries weight because it shows him that he's not just satisfying you, he's making you feel something profound. But more than that, saying, I don't want this to stop, is a way to show that you trust him. You're not holding back. You're not worrying about the future or the clock. You're living in the moment, fully immersed in the connection between the two of you. And in that space, when you're truly enjoying each other, time doesn't matter. All that matters is the experience you're sharing in that very moment. When you say these words, it's not just about the act of sex. It's about the shared experience of intimacy. It's about two people deeply connected, lost in each other, and craving more. And those words, I don't want this to stop, are an invitation to keep building on that experience. So let's be real, words have power, especially in those intimate moments when your guard is down, your heart is open, and you're fully connected with someone. It's not just about the physical. It's about making a man feel something deeper, desired, chosen, connected, sexy, valued. When you say things like, I love the way you touch me, or I need you, you're not just adding spice to the moment. You're creating memories that stay with him long after the lights go out. You're showing him that you're present, vulnerable, and confident enough to express exactly what you're feeling. And that combination, that's irresistible. It's what separates a fleeting encounter from a magnetic, unforgettable experience. These 5 phrases aren't just sexy. They're emotional triggers. They tap into his desire to feel wanted, admired, and connected to you on a deeper level. And when you use them with authenticity, not only do you unlock his passion, you unlock his heart. Now here's my challenge to you. Don't just think about saying these things. Say them. Try one the next time you're alone with your partner. Watch the way he reacts. Feel how the energy shifts. Because when you speak from a place of confidence and truth, you don't just turn him on, you draw him closer. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever used one of these lines, or do you have your own magic phrase that drives him wild? Let's start a conversation and empower each other. And if you found this helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because every week I'm diving deep into the real stuff that makes relationships magnetic, how to build chemistry, how to deepen connection, and how to keep the fire alive. Ladies, don't be afraid to own your voice. Your words can captivate, ignite, and transform the intimacy you share. Use them, because the right phrase spoken at the right time can make a man crave you, not just for a night, but for a lifetime.